Well, this being the second week of my reinvented horror vlogs, and once again we're dealing only with one film, I thought I'd go straight for the throat. Just as last week's film, Frankenstein, was always hugely inspirational upon me during my childhood years, and it's still a film that I enjoy very much watching. I can never get enough of watching it, as a matter of fact. There's another film produced much later, and as it happens, well, it had its theatrical release when I was just a child. I never got to see this film until I was much, much older. You know, the kids had grown up and moved away, and, well, you know, I finally, happily, got introduced to this film, and I am forever grateful because it had a huge impact on me. And I was a bit embarrassed that it took me so long to get around to seeing it, but I've got it now. Mario Bava's Black Sunday. Now, this particular edition is the English language version that was prepared by Bava, who was an Italian director. Well, never banking on the fact that the company, American International Pictures, was going to take it upon themselves to completely revamp the thing, redub the thing, recut the thing. So there are two versions of this film. There's the American version, which is good, you know, and there is the Italian production of the English language version, which is superior. And yes, well, the two main reasons why anybody should ever bother with watching this particular film, well, I can say it in two names. It was, of course, Mario Bava's directorial debut, and an ingenious one at that. Chilling. Just absolutely bone-crunchingly frightful. The other reason, and the other name, being Barbara Steele, an actress plucked out of obscurity and unemployment. She had started out as an art student and went on to become a model, and then slowly was sort of gravitated into the motion picture business, and had rather a checkered past. She had just walked off an Elvis Presley movie that she had worked on for a mere week because she'd had some kind of a fight with the director, and she flew to Europe and instructed her agent to, you know, put her services out on the market. Mario Bava saw her picture and instantly knew he wanted her to play the dual role. Asa the witch and Katya the innocent damsel in distress. And no other actress, it has been said by others, and it is very true, no other actress has so completely embodied the elements of romance and horror as she. My first viewing of this film, as I say, was rather late in life. It was Halloween of 1998, and I was trolling around the cable channels, and the old incarnation of American Movie Classics was having a Halloween film fest. This particular year it was hosted by director Tim Burton, who, along with various other films from, you know, American Movie Classics, you know, vaults, hand-picked several films that he specifically wanted to showcase. And Black Sunday was one of them. And it was the American version. That is the one that I saw first. And even so, that's how I can attest the fact that even the American version has a power to it that is undeniable. It is a true macabre masterpiece, and I recommend it very, very highly. It sort of incorporated, in terms of inspiration, it incorporated elements of the golden age of horror, the Universal films of the early to mid-1930s, but combined with that, a much more contemporary sense, inspired by the Hammer horror films of that particular period, 1960 and onward. But it's curious because it also has another inspiration which you would never guess, probably, and that is Walt Disney's animated feature, Snow White. Horror films were banned in Italy for decades, and when the ban was finally lifted, it seems that, a lot of the Italian public had never really seen a proper horror film. They had seen Snow White, however, and there are elements in that film of horror, of extreme horror, if anybody can remember their childhood memories of it. So they took away from that film those elements. And as horror films, became more and more prevalent in the Italian consciousness, they took in aspects of those films as well. Mario Bava once explained that his intention as a director and his favorite thing to actually set about doing was to tell a story depicting a single person's fear alone in a room. That was the basis from which he began a lot of his horror films. And certainly you can see that sense in so many of his pictures. The plot for Black Sunday basically involves a pair of incestuous witches/vampires who are, they couldn't quite make up their minds, who are put to death by other family members during the Middle Ages. And Asa, before her death could be effected, manages to curse her own family throughout the ages. Many, many generations later, a pair of doctors are seen traveling through the countryside to a medical convention. You know how that goes. And they happen upon the crypt where Asa's remains are interned, and through a lot of irresponsible and nosy behavior, they start the process, and it just so happens that it's on the anniversary of Asa's death, the process of her reanimation, and goes on to want to effect her revenge, involving taking the place of an ancestor, Princess Katya, who happens to resemble Asa quite a bit. That is, without the nail holes in Asa's face, Well, and from there, you'll just have to see for yourself. If you haven't checked this out for yourselves, I recommend it very highly, because it is truly a frightful horror classic, made by a man who himself could never retire to the sleeping chamber without first checking beneath his bed. And that's exactly what I'm going to do now. I'm going to go look under my bed to make sure it's safe. But until next time, all right then, I'll see you all next week. Oh, Miss Steele, paging Barbara Steele. Are you under there? Please be under there. Are you there in the darkness?
At last you're here. I've been waiting